Welcome, welcome. It's so nice to be here today. Today is September 8th, 2014. And gosh, I don't know, it just seems like we've just not been in the groove. I guess there's just been things happening and we just haven't been in the groove. So it's exciting to get back, and we'll be back every 2 weeks now. So we appreciate that you all are here. And we're a little rusty just in getting ready. We're just fitzing and fudging. So bear with us. But what I do know is it's September 8th. I know that. I know that we start at the beginning and we have a 15-minute question or answer. And, we don't really hold it to 15 minutes. Um, and then we go into a lesson. And tonight we're going to talk about yoga pants. I'm going to show you the new fall patterns. It's really exciting. I mean, I have had so much fun doing this and preparing for this. So I'm really appreciative that you're there, because otherwise I wouldn't need to do all this. And it would be way too narcissistic for me to do it just for me. So thank you for making me less narcissistic. All right, so welcome, welcome, ladies. Thanks again. We have questions. All right, it's early. Everybody's just slamming into their computer, turn it on. We really are here. We have, we've had a lot of new customers. As you guys know, PBS is popping up all over the country, all over Canada, all over the world because of YouTube. So it's really exciting to see all these orders going to these different places. Where was that one that we Singapore, if you're watching? Hello? Because it must be these. It's certainly, we've not been to Singapore lately, so we know it's not because we're going there. So it is amazing the ramifications that the internet has, and we're very grateful for that. Very grateful, because we can literally all sit in our own homes and communicate with one another, and that is priceless. Okay. The first question comes in. It says, what silhouette pattern would you recommend for a silk chiffon coverlet for a wedding? I'm not sure I know what a coverlet is. Can you maybe coverlet? Maybe just kind of give a little better, I don't mean better, but maybe just make it to where I understand what that is. Does it have sleeves? Um, Silk chiffon coverlet. Yeah, we'll go on until you can figure, but we'll get to you. Sounds like fun going to a wedding, though. How to reduce bulk in elastic waistbands in pants and skirts. Um, if you do the yoga skirt 2010 and yoga pant, I don't think there's any bulk. If you're more descriptive as to what the bulk is from, because I have the yoga pants on, you just lap the elastic, and then it's just two layers of fabric and the elastic, and it's really flat and really smooth. If you make the elastic not too tight, but just to where it's taut, kind of gives yourself a little firm grip there on your tummy, holds it in a little bit. Not too tight. If you make it too tight, first off, they're uncomfortable, but also you get that muffin top stuff. Yeah, we don't want any of that muffin top stuff. So don't make them too tight, but I don't know what causes the bulk. If you're more specific with me with what is bulky to you, then maybe I can help you. But there has to be two layers of fabric. Well, there doesn't have to be. The elastic, some elastics, the elastics we sell is so soft against your skin, you don't need to actually put a layer behind it, but most times I do. Okay, coverlet is a sheet jacket. Oh, a sheer jacket to wear over a dress. Which pattern would be best? Um, I would look at 1850. 1850 would really be simple, beautiful. You don't have to make it as long, but you could make it's a elastic waist. You could do either a cord tie or just but it's beautiful, it's dressy, it's a kimono sleeve. I think that I would recommend that one. Hope that helps. 1850. All right, love the yoga pants. They're so comfortable, but with a wide waistband, I'm not sure where should the crotch measurement where should the crotch measurement be from? You're not supposed to be measuring the crotch. Don't measure, just make the pant and just try it on. And remember, They go below your waist. Don't measure. Don't measure the pattern. You guys, huh? Yeah. Um, the crew behind me is saying go back to the basics. You don't need to measure. They fit really well. Try them on. Just make them up. Make up a sample pair in a stretch muslin, and they'll fit. They'll fit really well. I don't know. I know that sounds so lackadaisical, but they really will fit really nicely. Measuring the pattern, it doesn't work anyway. We've measured for years and it doesn't work. We don't translate those numbers well. All right? I don't know. I'm not sure if that helps y'all. Yeah, I don't think that helps. But anyway, any other questions? No, probably we've been gone so long you guys can't remember what questions to ask. It's great to be back. We'll give it a few more minutes. No questions? What have you guys been sewing? Here's my idea, and I don't want any emails on this, but here's my idea. You guys can give me the feedback. It's only for you live ones watching. We're thinking about wiping away all the old webcasts. And the reason we're thinking about doing this is as new people come on and we say watch the webcast, they are so overwhelming because there's so much information that they don't even know, they have no clue where to even begin. So it seems to me if there was not as many, if we just took them all away and started again, they would not be so lost when they went to the website. So you guys think that's a good idea? We we think that's a good idea, right? Just take them all off, delete them all, and start again. All right, the question is, I have made a few pairs of pants. Oh, I've made a few pairs of them. I guess that means a few pairs of the yoga pants. But the size was good for hips and legs, too short in the crotch. That's okay. All right, so too short in the crotch. That means you just want them to come up higher, I think is what that means. Just add to the top of the pant. So just if you've made them and you want them to come up higher on you, all you do is add to the top of the pant. Before you put the band on, just add to the top. But you got to keep in mind, yoga pants are not meant to go to the waist because they're not shaped. I mean, they're just an elastic band, so there's no shaping through the hip per se. They're just straight. So if you take them up to the waist, I don't know. They're just not going to fit right. I don't think they can fit right. The way they are, I'm not sure they can fit right. Was that the right copy and paste? But they weren't sure if they copied and pasted it right. But anyway, that's cool. I don't think anybody makes one pair of those yoga pants. That is for sure. They're fabulous. And the more we make, I can't say I wear them every day, but I wear them a lot. And jeans, I heard a statistic that jeans were down. Jeans sales were down 37%, and yoga pants sales were up. Yoga pants are just everywhere. So everyone over the years who said to me, "Oh, I can't wear yoga pants, I don't exercise." Nobody's exercising, girls. They just wear yoga pants. You don't have to wear them tight. You can wear them loose. They're just fabulous. And I think all of our yoga pant patterns, we've got three. One is the 3400, one is 3011, which is an adorable yoga pant, and then the PBS, the 3413, and that's our pattern of the month for September. September is National Sewing Month, so we made the yoga pant, the PBS yoga pant, the pattern of the month. I should say the Fit to Stitch yoga pant, which is 3413, and it's normally $19.99. You can get it for $14.99 with your Facebook code. Okay, go to Facebook, get the code, and go from there. All right, how we doing? No questions. You guys still watch those webcasts? You do? You don't want me to take them away? Now I've got you in a frenzy about the webcast and you're not thinking about asking questions. How many of those viewers are out there saying that? How high or low should yoga pants be? They should be about the belly button. About the belly button, not above the belly button. If anything, a little below the belly button. That's really the best place they should be worn. It's the most comfortable place. And I have a lot of women that I put them on and I say, no, don't wear them that high. Go down, go down, go down, go lower. And they do it and they're kind of doing it skeptically. They're really thinking to themselves they're going to pull them up the minute they leave when I'm not looking. But they find that they leave them there. I've gotten so many emails where they leave them there because they really do feel better. But it's a matter of getting used to them not being at the waist. They're just not attractive at the waist, you guys. I hate to see you wearing pants at your waist. Even though some of the styles have tried to come back with this high-waisted pant, they've not been successful. The majority of women do not want to wear pants to their waist, and so they're staying below the waist. You know, a belly button area, below the belly button. Can you talk about taper up and down at the waistline? Taper up and down at the waistline. There's no darts in yoga pants. We're kind of guessing it to what that question means. But you can just add. But again, honestly, you guys, I have made these yoga pants, and I have probably fit these yoga pants on at least 1,000 bodies out there. And some had to change the angle of the waist, but almost no one had to change where they went. I mean, a few, but don't think automatically you should be doing this. I really believe that you should make them up. And, you know, we've got a little deal. Didn't we do a webcast on yoga pants? I know I did a couple of PBS shows on yoga pants, but did I do a webcast on yoga pants? Yeah. So go back to those webcasts and watch those. Honestly, they fit really well. Our pattern really does fit well, not just saying that. I'm 5'2" and want a long yoga skirt. How long shall I make it? Okay, Miss 5'2", if you're 5'2", you're only 35 inches from your shoulder to your knee. 35 inches, okay? So that means maybe 34 inches. We'll say 35. If you divide by 5, divide that 35 by 5, and that makes you 7. So you're about 14 inches. You're really only about 13 inches. From your shoulder to your waist, you're 13 inches. Okay? So that means from your waist to your knee, you are 21 inches. Shoulder to waist is 13 inches, correct. Okay? Waist to knee is about 21 inches. So your yoga skirt, if you want to make it longer, the very longest it should be a 1 to 2, which is shoulder to waist, which was your 13, times 2, 26 inches. So from your waist to the hem of the skirt should be 26 inches. The longer that skirt is, the shorter you'll look. You will look better in a knee-length yoga skirt. We like to lengthen them, we like the look, but you got to keep in mind if you're only 5'2", the longer the skirt, the shorter you'll look 5 feet. If that's okay with you, that's okay with me. It's your skirt. It's, you know, you're the one looking like this. So but if you go longer than 26 even, well, like I said, my mother was 5'2", and she told me off one day. Didn't tell me off, but you know, I mean, when I said to her one day, you look awful. And she said, when I'm with people who love me, I don't care what I look like, I dress what I love. And 5'2" people have a lot of limits on what they can wear, so I understand it. When she was in her off mode, or, you know, just going places with the family or whatever, she dressed in some really horrible looking stuff, but she was really happy and she really liked it. But she was very out of proportion. So, you know, I'm 5'8", and it's hard for me to relate because I have much more, you know, options as to what I can wear. All right, hope that helps. All right, no more questions? Oh, how do you finish the hem of a leather jacket with lining? I have one right here. I glue it. You glue it. Okay, so you can get glue. I just use almost any glue you have in your household will work on leather. So it's not like you need to go out and buy leather glue. The Sobo glue, the Elmer, I mean anything, almost anything will, you know, glue leather. Just do a little sample first, and you want to make sure you don't use so much that it penetrates the leather. Leather is breathable, absorbable, it's porous. So if you do too much, it'll go right through the leather. This is one of the new jackets that we're going to debut Oh, actually, I didn't glue the bottom though, so that wouldn't be a good example. Anyway, but you just glue it. It's very easy to do. Do a little test first. Piece of cake. All right. All right. No questions. I hope that means you're sewing like crazy and you just don't have questions. All right. All right. So we're going to talk about yoga skirts tonight because these yoga skirts are so much fun, and I have shopped and shopped and shopped, and I've really found that there are so many options, and they're not inexpensive. $150, $190. I saw one for $350. They're very expensive. So to make these things is nothing. To literally fit them, the only thing you should be considering is your waist, or where. And when I say waist, I mean that loosely, because I don't wear them at my waist. I like them to hang on my hips because you don't even feel like you have them on. So just literally put them to where they're hanging on your hips or wherever you want them. That's where you should measure, and then you should do a 1-to-1. So if, and we have the exact pattern, literally the pattern measurement on the envelope, on the back of the envelope. This is pattern number 2010. Now this was August's pattern of the month. Now what we did, because we pushed back this webcast because PBS asked me to do a couple guest spots, and I did them, and that was last week. 2 weeks ago actually is when that was. So I pushed back this webcast, and so you didn't get to see um, the yoga skirt webcast in the month the yoga skirt was going on. So what we've done is we've marked down the price of the yoga skirt. You don't have to use a code or anything. It's just $9.99, and it'll be $9.99 through Sunday. So that way it'll give you a chance to see the webcast before you decide you want the pattern, and then you can go from there. But on the back of the pattern, it has measurement of the waist, and that you use whatever size where you want the skirt to go. So if you're measuring high hip, literally don't measure your waist. Your waist is defined as the smallest part of your body. Don't measure that portion. Measure where you want the actual garment to go, and then just use that size. Because the yoga skirt, this is what the yoga skirt is shaped like. It's flare, so it's going to be big enough for your hips. I mean, unless you have just a really large distance between your high hip and your hip, because remember, this is not your waist. So you don't really have to even worry about fit. The only thing you have to worry about when doing the yoga skirt is sometimes our waist. If we've gotten a little bit of a tummy, then our waist will dip down in the front, and you don't want to change the hem of the yoga skirt. You should be changing the waistline of the yoga skirt and not the band. You should be scooping out the actual skirt part and then just affix the band to whatever you've changed. So if you make a yoga skirt and put the band on it and then put it on, and if it dips low in the front, then you're going to take a dart out, a horizontal dart out of center front right under the band, and you're going to take and taper that. It'll just be, if this is center front, it'll just be right here, and you'll take, and that dart will taper to nothing at the side seam. So you'll just take that away. All right, very easy to do, but you don't want to change the hem. The hem should hang straight and then go from there. Do it behind my black shirt. Okay, sorry. Anyway, that's okay. They're trying to help me, trying to make it more visible. These are littler. I guess they're littler than I thought. But anyway, I'll hold them up. Okay, so I was trying to get it because before, when I watch some of those webcasts, I've got these big pattern pieces, and the pattern pieces are so big they kind of can't see anything. So I was trying to go for smaller. Maybe I should go somewhere in between. Okay, so any questions on fit with the yoga skirt? Again, it's yoga skirts to me go everything. They are being worn over yoga pants, over leggings. They're just modesty. You're going to see today where we've taken this yoga skirt and knocked it out of the park. We've gone really crazy with it. So, and again, it's because it's being done a lot in stripes, and it's being done a lot. It just looks great. It really does. If they're slipping up, if they don't slip up, they climb up. If they're climbing up, that's because they're too small. Okay, the circumference is too small, and they're riding up. So go to a larger size so that the skirt is free to hang. You will look your thinnest if the skirt is free to hang, regardless of the size. It will look much better if it can hang rather than, kind of grip. Okay? Okay, so I started because a pattern in and of itself is timeless. Patterns don't have seasons. Patterns don't. There's no season. What makes the pattern, according to the time of year, obviously is the fabric that we do it in. So I kind of started with summer and I worked my way over to winter so that you could see all the changes. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one, simply because we can see it. And I'm going to show you the fabric that I used and then show you what resulted. So yoga skirts, because there's only one piece in the back, there are two pieces in the I'm sorry, one piece in the front, two pieces in the back. The way I did this pattern is the center front is on a fold and the back is on a seam. Now the reason I did that was to control the amount of flare and to control where the fullness was in the skirt and how you place it on the fabric. But if you're doing a knit, there's not a lot of difference, and you're going to see with a lot of these, I put the center back on the fold as well as the center front on the fold also. So this is a great skirt to do with what I'm going to call specialty fabrics. And this particular fabric, I want you to see what it looked like. Um, it literally just has one flower in the midst of a big panel. So you can just see it's just a big piece of fabric with one panel. So what I wanted to do, what it did is, because there was so much fabric and room around the yoga skirt, it really gave me a lot of freedom to position that panel exactly where I wanted it. And it's actually a little bit to the side. I kind of put it in the front so that you could see it, but it really makes a beautiful yoga skirt. I am going to go ahead and do a cowl neck for the top part, so it'll almost look like a dress. And that's a fun thing about this yoga skirt, is when you do a top and bottom that corresponds, that it just really looks very nice. Again, I didn't put a seam in the back, no reasoning, and I didn't put any floral or anything in the back. Again, no reasoning, that was all just design choice. Okay, then you start seeing fabrics, and you all, a lot of you know that we had a fabric sale over Labor Day weekend. We now have one fabric left that's on our website, and it's just amazing how much fabric we shipped out. But it's all gone. It's really all gone, but we've got so much coming in from New York that we really needed to get rid of it. But this was a fabric that we had on the site, and that's what it looks like. They were bent stripes, and I think we called it bent stripes, but they were straight bent stripes across the fabric. So they kind of went up and went down, but still they went across and were straight. So I just love this fabric. I love the feel of it. I had cut this before all the fabric sold. I had kind of cut this off because this was a piece that was from France, and it's just beautiful to the touch. I mean, it's just a really pretty piece. So what I did with this, and in this case I wanted the skirt to be a little longer, is I put it at an angle. So that's a 45-degree angle that skirt is. It's just the yoga skirt, same thing, center front on the fold. I put the center back on the fold also because I didn't want, there was no reason for the seam back there. And so that's all at a 45-degree angle. So when you do that, all you have to do is refold the fabric. And it takes really twice as much fabric to do it this way. If you need a yard for the yoga skirt, if you're going to do an angle like that, you need double that. You're only going to need 2 yards. And also, in this particular case, I added 8 inches to the bottom. Now that 8 inches was based on my height and my shoulder to waist measurement. You want to make a linear measurement from shoulder to waist and then double that measurement. So for me at 5'8", I'm 16 inches from shoulder to waist. And again, you don't measure over the chest. It's not a depth measurement. It's just a linear vision. So I'm 16 inches from shoulder to waist. I doubled that to make it 32. So I had a 1-to-2 look. The skirt in the pattern, I don't remember the number, but I needed 8 inches more to get it to be that 32 inches. Love this skirt. It's so poolish, summerish, beachy, whatever you want to call it. I can just throw it on anywhere I want to. In fact, I did have to go somewhere and I just literally threw the skirt on and it was perfect. It was just perfect. But again, you notice the difference, and so many people a lot of times will say to me that they're afraid of stripes because they don't want those stripes to go around. But anytime that's the case, you can always angle those stripes. You'll still get the stretch of the fabric, and you'll still, and it's such a slimming look. And then anytime you're doing with a um, kind of what I'm going to call a print bottom, you want to go up with a solid top and something that just blends in. So you really get the advantage of having the whole garment, the visual of the whole garment, rather than just one part. You literally want your length to be top to bottom instead of fixated on one portion. Okay, so then I did a little fallish, and I kind of started, since we're moving into fall a little bit, and I took this fabric, and I absolutely love this fabric. This is a fabric that I've had that really you could use both sides. So you can see one side is one color, the other side is another color. You can't tell which side is right and which side is wrong. I liked both of them, so I decided I'm going to use both of them, although I've not completely finished, but I finished the skirt. I just put it with some other things. But what I did, I guess I should show that to you first. So this particular skirt is made just the regular length, and I have added, I think you can see those swirls at the bottom. Now again, I had seen this, or not at the bottom, throughout the whole body of the skirt. I had seen this skirt in the store where they had done this. And this little skirt was $350. I thought, oh my goodness gracious, that's just ridiculous. So let me tell you how I did it. Again, it's this fabric, and I took a lace. This is like just an inch wide lace. And all you're going to do is literally take it from one section at the top and you're going to swirl it to the bottom. So it's all just math. Keep in mind you've got two panels. You're going to cut your front on the fold and your back on the fold. So what I did is I sewed together my side seam, so that became my whole entire skirt. And I measured how big the waist was, and I measured how big the hem was. So I knew how close to put them up here and how far to put them here, to where I could predict how many I wanted. So I ended up with 10, and what happened is they were 1 inch apart up here and 5 inches apart down here. So the 1 inches gave me 10 pieces, and the bottom times the 5, it's like 60 at the bottom. Does that make sense? 50 at the bottom. So what you want to do is figure out how wide your top is, how wide your bottom is, and decide how many strips you want. And then just lay them on, and all I did was top stitch them on. I just kind of swirled them to the side like that, and all you really need is top points and bottom points. And as you go through the rest will kind of work themselves out. And you'll really see that even if they're not exact, they do really well. They look really beautiful. And the nice thing about this, what I really liked about it, is it really gave the skirt movement. So that was just a fabric that I took, and I guess you could say I embellished it, although I don't know if that's really the proper word. I'm not sure what, if that's really the right word. The other thing is I paired it with a little lace. This is 211, and I've had this for a while. You guys remember this fabric, but it looks really cool to have the lace on the skirt and then a little bit of lacy top as well. This is not the top I want. What I'm going to do is I want to make a top out of the reverse side so that it just really coordinates the whole thing together. Okay, remember, whenever I'm doing an outfit, I always want a look that kind of goes top to bottom as opposed to just making one part. So if the bottom is, if you break it up like this and do two distinct colors, a lot of times this will give you two pieces, two colors, whereas if you make them monochromatic, they'll give you a taller look. All right, any questions on that? All right, good, good, good. Okay, I also want to show you one summer skirt that I did. Now this is just a favorite of mine. I've had it for a long time, and I did this out of the yoga skirt, but instead of adding the band above, I sunk the band down into the skirt. Alright, so all I did was make 2 double layers of skirt. They completely cover themselves. I put the elastic inside and top stitched. So there's a little band that goes across the top, so instead of it going up, it literally just sits on my hips. And then on the top layer I added the ruching. And there's 4 layers of ruching just to make this, now this little skirt, no question it's a lot of work. It was also just a lot of fun. Okay, so there's a layer underneath and then the 4 layers on top. Okay. On that, I didn't match anything. I didn't match anything. I just went havoc on everything. We are going to talk about matching stripes here in a little while because I'm going to show you several stripes that I've matched, but I didn't on that one. I did not. On the bent stripes, no, I did not worry about matching the stripes on the side because one advantage of using this is the stripes are all bent on the side. But they don't look bad. They don't look anything. I mean, I kind of tested it before I did it, and I didn't have any problem with not matching. I'll show you later where I matched and how, whoops, how easy it is to match. But with the bent stripes, because everything's kind of going cattywampus, you really, I don't know that you could match them because they're not consistently bent the same amount throughout the fabric. Okay, then I decided to do a little fall now. We're going to go into fall. Honestly, I don't think any of these skirts took me longer than an hour at the most. These skirts are so quick to sew up. One of the fashions for this fall is boots that come up over the knee, and I know y'all are going to say, I'm not wearing those. Please wear those. Please find a pair. They're flats. They don't have to be heels. They're flats, and they're just so cute. So I took the yoga skirt and made a straight skirt out of it. So what I did is I'm going to show you this process. Let me put this here and put this down. This herringbone is a really strong fabric for fall. We've got some coming in. We've got a Pontoroma herringbone that's coming in. So again, this is my yoga skirt, and all I did at the bottom, I took it from the center front, is measured how wide I wanted the bottom, and then I just took and shaved it like so on each side. So just know bottom circumference, how many bottom inches you want. So now it's a knit skirt that literally just has a waistband. I mean, you can make this little skirt up if you're working, for the office. It's just adorable. It goes right below my knee, and then I've got a little pair of boots that comes up over my knee, and it's just adorable. It's just so cute. All right, so just decide how wide you want the bottom, measure how wide it currently is, decide how much needs to come off each side, and then go here to the hip. Don't make the hip line any smaller. Give it a little bit of fullness. It doesn't have to be a straight skirt to still look like a straight skirt. And then just shave off that bottom. And then this was the fabric I started with on that. Very easy to work with, great knit, great movement, great everything. And again, you could just pair it with a little, this is Anne's top, is what this is, in a charcoal gray, and that just gives it a great look. But very different, not yoga skirt looking at all, but you can see that that yoga skirt, just because it's an elastic wide inch band, it's very comfortable, it's very quick to make up, it's really flattering. It's very, very flattering. Okay, so now let's go on to our stripe. I'm still working on redoing this room and getting all these things to hang up, but because I've got too many samples and too many places to show you. Okay, so this is the skirt that I had shown before. We got an email from a lady who wanted me to show it again and show how to do it again. I've got a narrow stripe and I've got a wide stripe. I've got both. So I'll show you both, how to do both and how to get them to be correct. Whenever you're doing a stripe, now you got to think about what you want. I've seen everything, so all you got to do is decide what you want. And again, when I see these, they're just expensive. They're just really, really expensive, and the fabric is not a lot, and stripe is very popular. It was for the spring, it still is for the summer, and it's everywhere for fall still again. And I'm going to show you a little wider stripe, so I'll show you a few differences. Okay, so for this one in particular, I wanted a chevron. For the chevron, you do need to create the center front seam and a center back seam. And all it is a 45-degree angle. To get a 45-degree angle, you take a 1-inch square, at least 2 inches in a row, and you put one of the squares of the 1 inch on the center front. That's kind of hard to describe, isn't it? Yeah, it's right there. It's right in that drawer. Do you mind there? The French curve is what I need. Yep, perfect. Okay, so whenever the greatest thing, one of the things I use all the time on this French curve is these squares. These are inch squares right here on the curve. So when you have those 1-inch squares and you've got a straight edge here, if you put the top end of the square and the bottom end of the square right on the center front line, boom, do you see now that I have a 45-degree angle? My French curve is a 45-degree angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that to the stripe on the fabric. So I'm going to, you can take the front of your pattern and you can draw a 1-inch square on it, or you could just use your French curve and just lay it on, and then when you're going to turn it onto your stripe, you want to make sure it's a 45-degree angle. It has to be a 45-degree angle. If it's a 45-degree angle, then what you're going to see is all your side seams will match too. They'll automatically match. All you've got to do is put the front and the back both at the 45 degrees, and the side seams will match. It doesn't matter as long as you've got a symmetrical stripe. Now that doesn't hold true if the stripe is not, I say symmetrical, even. Okay, in this particular case, this is a maroon and gray, and my maroon and gray are exactly the same size, so it meets down the middle perfectly, but it also meets down the side perfectly. It also meets down the center back. It meets everywhere, except they're just going different directions. They're going this way in the front, and you should put them going down in the front, and then you can see that way on the side. You don't want this to be your middle. Wait, let me show that to you. Sorry. Nope, it's backwards. Sorry. You don't want that to be your middle. You want, see, I'm getting crazy now. You want that to be your middle. See how they go down in the center? That's what you want to be your center. Okay? That will give you your longest, thinnest look. Any questions on this before I put that away? Okay, so then what I did is I took a wide stripe. Now I saw this skirt done, and it was, gosh, I hate to say I have favorites, but I just really fell in love with this skirt. Not only working with it, but doing it, everything. So here's the skirt. I'm going to try to hold it because I don't think I can do anything else to show you it. Yeah, I don't think I can do anything else. Okay, so here's the skirt. So many of us, when we see these wide stripes, we think, oh, you know what, I don't like those wide stripes. Well, this is a perfect thing to do with wide stripes because it's so flattering. It's just beautifully flattering. It's so slenderizing. And I saw 3 of these in the stores for fall. One was a black, a white, a blue. One was the gray and some other colors. So this is what we call a symmetrical stripe, that the stripes are actually the same size. So I put the front at a 45-degree angle, and so what I want to show you is the side, is that those stripes automatically will match at the side. And I would not make a skirt like this if I didn't make sure those stripes match, because they look horrible. I saw a lady in the airport the other day, and because I'd been working on yoga skirts and matching stripes and all that, and none of her stripes matched, oh my goodness, it just looked horrible. I mean, it just really, really looked bad. It would look bad on anybody. It just looked awful. It really looked awful, you guys. So what I did with this, now let me show you the other side. They match, but they match going the other way. Where's the other side? Can you see that? Yeah, they'll all match. Now you're going to do the center front on a fold and the center back on a fold. And all of your stripes will match. They'll just match going different directions on both sides of the skirt. That side they're going up. Okay, so what I did in this case is once you pick the 45-degree angle in the front, and again that's going to take like twice the yardage. I had 2 yards. This is the fabric right here, and I had 2 yards of fabric, and this is all I've got left. I don't have a lot of fabric left. And thanks to Charlotte and Margaret, they went and got this fabric for me this weekend. We were in I looked all over. It's really hard to find a wide stripe because so many of the manufacturers aren't letting them go because they're so popular. And I couldn't find it, and so a couple of ladies in DC went to G Street, and the skirt cost me a whole $6. So what a great deal, $6 for a skirt. But anyway, what I did is I cut the first one. I made this longer, so I made it 8 inches longer than the yoga skirt. I cut it, and then once I cut it, I used it to be the pattern for the back. So I laid it out on the fabric so that the stripes matched identically and then cut it, and so everything matched without any problem. That's really the easiest way rather than trying to figure out 45-degree angle twice. You just use your front. It's not exactly the same, but it's close enough that once I've got it laid out, I can lay my back down and cut the back to make sure it's the same. All right, are we okay with that? No, this is what's so cool. Or, I'm sorry, the question is, are wide stripes no for 5-2? No, because when they're put at an angle like that, they're so slimming. They're really like doing vertical. Angular and vertical is really the same. So this is your best time to use those wide stripes. I know so many people take those wide stripes and they think, oh, I'm not going to, those stripes are way too overwhelming for me. But if you turn them up, they're not. They're just really flattering. Don't put them vertical, just put them angular, that 45-degree angle. I love that skirt. I just really think it's beautiful. And I don't even know if you can see the whole outfit, but it's just really flattering. It's just really cute. Okay, so then I want to show you a couple weeks ago when we did the handicap dressing, I had this skirt. It was a wrap skirt, the wrap yoga skirt. Love the skirt. Literally, it's just a matter where I put the two pieces together. I doubled the front. I doubled the front. So I actually opened it up, all right, and made two of them. So this is what the pattern looks like. I opened it up, and then I cut two full fronts so that one lapped all the way over here, one lapped all the way over here. All right? So then, with the waistband, you have one waistband that matches the back and one waistband that matches the front. You cut one more length of the front for the waistband. So I'm going to take this off for just a minute. I mean, if you go to swim or go to the beach or whatever you go a lot, this is a great little skirt to just wrap on. I put a button here at the waist, so literally you can just put that on there, take it over to here, put it on there. It's just cute, it's quick, it's really nice. You could do it in sheer, you could do it just so many different fabrics, just depending on what you want to do. But there's the whole front and the band, then the back and the band, and then another whole front and the band. So you've got to cut one more extra band length and then one more front, and then you just make it whole. And again, very quick to make. I put the elastic in all three bands, all three parts, and then I put the buttonholes went right through the elastic. Very fun skirt, very easy to put on. This will be a favorite, and I'll make it over and over. Different fabrics are just really cute. I can see it in a really pretty, like a spring floral. It's just, again, real simple and real nice to wear. For the yoga skirt, do some knits look nicer than other knits? ITY knit versus cotton knit versus rayon knit. Gosh, you know what? I've used all those knits. I've got ITY is this one right here. Rayon knits is this one right here. Cotton knits are this one. The bent stripes was cotton. I've got all of them. I like them all. I think it more depends on how you place the print on the fabric on you versus the actual fabric itself. They all drape really nicely, and I like them all. So your call. On your yoga skirts, did you line them? Because sometimes knits are thin. I only lined this one, and I lined this one because it was literally really light, and I lined it with that black knit lining that I had a little while ago. I kind of cut that off before I sold it all and kept some for myself, and so I just literally made the lining the same as the skirt, and I sewed it in at the waistband, and then I left it loose at the bottom. So that skirt has a lining all built into it. The rest I did not, because none of these had an issue with see-through. Now some of them, especially the bent stripes, like if I held it up, you could probably, well, no, I didn't worry about it. None of mine were that light that I worried about it. I've got one that's in a rayon knit. I'm going to show you here in just a minute. It's the last one kind of back there in the corner. Any other questions? All right, do you fold the fabric at a 45-degree angle and then put the pattern on the fold? You do. You sure do. And if you just use your selvage, you could probably, well, no, I didn't worry about it. None of mine were that light that I worried about it. I've got one that's in a rayon knit. I'm going to show you here in just a minute. It's the last one kind of back there in the corner. Any other questions? All right, do you fold the fabric at a 45-degree angle and then put the pattern on the fold? You do. You sure do. You know, to fold it, it's very easy to fold. Take your selvage and, you know, use it to the bottom. No, I mean, if you all know what ITY knits are, ITY knits are really nice because they drape straight. They hang straight. Yeah, you want to make sure that it doesn't, you know, just ones that you want to have a great drape to it. All of these do though. I guess, yeah, just don't use a knit. But I don't think if a knit was really, really light, it'd be attractive to me anyway. Because knits that are really lightweight don't drape. They just don't look great, period. Anywhere. On tops, t-shirts, skirts, they really don't look good anywhere. All right. Okay, so the last yoga skirt I want to show you is this one back here. It's as far back as I can reach. And I saw this in the store and I took pictures of it and I just fell in love with it. You can see that it is a wrap yoga skirt, but now they've added pleats here to the side. Can you see that? And I went ahead and did the top out of the same, so it really looks like a dress. And gosh, I think you just get such a different look out of this type of yoga skirt. Let me just show it to you there. See how pretty that is? And there's pleats at the top here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, 2 little buttons at the waist. Very nice. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. And hope we don't pull down our light. You're going to take the skirt again and you're going to double it. So when I did this, I was really trying to do it as fast as possible. So I literally just I folded the fabric and did it together like so. Okay, then because this has a curve at the bottom, you're going to take your French curve and give it a shape on one side. I didn't want it to go all the way to the side seam, so I made it just a little bit short. Can they see that, you think? We gotta get this down. I thought these little pink things would really help, but they're not. They don't really help. Yeah, they do. We've got the lighting. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Okay, so the 2 double front. Now what I did is, because I didn't have a lot of paper where I was doing this, I cut the one front. So this one, because it's the under portion, would be, what would it be? The right front. No, this would be the left front. So this would go underneath and the other side wrap. So this is the right front. So what I did is I went ahead and cut this so I didn't have to make it twice. So I cut this just like it was. I cut one front single layer. Then, because I want to add pleats, and I wanted all the pleats to be right in here, I wanted them all at the front of the skirt. They are all to this side. There was 4 of them. Now again, this was a skirt that I saw at the store, a couple $100, but all the gathering was in that part. Those pleats were 3/4 of an inch deep, so I separated each of these 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. Okay, so each of those were separated 1.5 inches, and that was my next pattern, and that would be for the right side. Is that what I said, or left side? The top side, whatever the top side is. It doesn't make a difference which one you decide. One's going to be plain and go under, and one's going to have the pleats in it and go on the outside. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make these pleats, and it's important that you cut to this side of the skirt, because otherwise the pleats won't come down like so. They'll come over, and you want a vertical look, so you want all these pleats to come down to the bottom of the skirt. So you can see that this just wraps, and again I did the buttonhole. That's underneath, and this part comes way over and covers because of the way it's cut, and then it goes like so. Go ahead. Nope, nope, I just did the band, and I hemmed the band and hemmed the skirt all the way, same all the way around. And this is a rayon, but this rayon's got, this is that teal rayon. We don't have any more of it either. But it's got beautiful drape. It's just gorgeous. And I love that. I mean, those little, it looks weddingish. I mean, it could be as dressy as you make that fabric, and with those few little extra pleats there, I just love it. I think it just certainly doesn't look like a yoga skirt. So anyway, the goal was just to give you one pattern that you could really get a lot of great looks out of, that you were comfortable with, and you could see, you know, what I'm a big believer that we, once we get familiar with a pattern, we should be able to look around and see how else we can make it. So I'm a big believer of taking a pattern and making it numerous times. Maybe not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. You know, maybe that's a little bit eccentric, but nonetheless, you can pick the one you like the most. And it was really funny because we were in Washington, D.C. over the weekend with the 3-day workshop, and I was working on the skirts at the workshop, and some of the ladies said, "Oh, I don't like that one. I like that. Oh, I would definitely make that one." So by the time I had all the skirts made, everybody at least liked one of them. So the goal is that you find at least one you make and then go from there. But if you Google yoga skirts, or if you Google variations of yoga skirts, you'll see there's a lot of different options out there. So make the first one and then go from there. Okay, so what I want to do quickly, now we've got a few minutes left. Any questions we can answer? Well, again, depending on what you're doing, normally it's just a yard because it's 60 inches wide and it's only, you know, the length is only a yard. So normally only a yard, but sometimes if you're going to do 45-degree angling or lengthen it or any of those things, I would double your yardage and get 2 yards. Okay? All right, so with that being said, I wanted to show you the new patterns for 2014, fall 2014. There is 5 new patterns that we're actually releasing. One will be the PBS pattern. I'm not going to show you that right now. That one's done. We actually are doing a dog. We're doing a a top, what do you call it, mother and dog match, or grandma and dog, whatever you want to call it. But we've done a little dog outfit, and it matches the outfit that we have the mom in. And it's adorable. But anyway, we're not going to show you that now. We won't show you that until for 2 more weeks, when we bring out that whole product. But for right now, I want to show you, we've got 2 tops. Got the top I have on. Boy, and I don't have the pattern numbers in front of me. Brett, you going to help me with that? Okay, we got some help here. This is called 215, Nikki's favorite top. All right, and it is the one that has the knots. It's not a knot, but it's really a fun little wave, a little weave right through the front of it. It has a French dart underneath these weaves. A lot of times this was a really popular top. I had the one I have on. I had bought it, and I, you know, many different colors. I just really like it. The reason I wanted a pattern is because I wanted it out of a cashmere knit. I wanted it out of some higher end fabrics, but I just really like the top. So I know you can't see it in black. I really have it on black, but it really is a very easy top. But again, where the top goes down here, it has the French darts underneath there, so the B, C, and D cup is still included in this particular top. Then we have this one, which is Abby's, and the French dart is inverted. So instead of it going this way, it goes this way. It's a kimono sleeve. Just love this little top. Now also just a note, because I've gotten lots of emails on this, we do not have the correct envelopes up yet. We just put those sample envelopes up so we could start the pre-sale. We're still working on those envelopes and we're still making adjustments. So don't worry about anything on the envelopes. I mean, I know, make your best guess to what they are, but we just wanted you to see the base. We're still working on the pictures and they'll be all perfect by the time we get them to go. Then we have a jacket. This jacket was Ellie Tahari. I named it after my mother. My mother was Mildred. And this is just a beautiful, oh, I just love this jacket. It's 1954. It's called Mildred's Best Jacket. It has, I mean, this doesn't have, this is leather. It doesn't have to be leather. Gray is one of the biggest colors for fall, so I did make it out of gray. This is a beautiful gray cashmere, and then just with this teal insert, and then I put just a little fastener, the silver bar fastener at the waist. This is, the body is the same as 1950, 1950 was just adapted, and I did that because I knew so many of you had done 1950 that it'd be real easy for you to do. But again, it fits just absolutely beautiful, and it's just so nice looking on. And then I did, because yoga pants are so popular, I did a yoga pant that is for woven fabrics. You can still do them in a knit, but I did them with angular pockets. I did them with patch pockets in the back. This fly is a faux fly, and so this is just a really great leg. It's a really great look. Very slim leg, but yet still gives a lot of mobility. And that pattern is pattern number 3414, Jag jeans. If you're familiar with Jag jeans, we call them Jags pants. So those are for woven, they're a woven yoga pant. And so many times I'd gone over how to do it, how to do it. I had so many emails on how to do it. I thought this is just going to be so much easier to do these as opposed to actually continually reminding you on how to do it. So we've done that for you. So those are the four new ones. They are, this is a pre-sale. In other words, we'll ship them the end of September, bearing everything goes right, but that's when we anticipate. The pre-sale will end this Sunday. And come Monday morning, we will not have that pre-sale up. We won't have any extensions. No extensions. We will end it, okay? So that will be the lowest pricing. They'll go back to regular pricing. We'll release them regular pricing probably around the 1st of October. They're not available for individual sale at this time. Only all four of them. When you order all four of them, I think it's almost 50% off. So it's like buying two of them. Even if you like two of them, you're better off to buy all four. Okay. Are we ready? We normally do. Any questions on that? And oh, we don't have. Okay, so because we've skipped so many webcasts, we forgot that we're supposed to have a bonus question. No, that's okay. We just won't do one this time. We'll figure it out. We'll make up for it or something. Did you only watch to get the bonus question right? Sorry. We just forgot. We literally forgot. I apologize. My apologies. I will say thanks. We've gone to so many places. ETA New York. It was just so much fun. Upcoming, we have the fabric buying trip in December. We have ETA California. Classes are really filling. So if you're in that area and plan to go to ETA, do not put this off. Really, I honestly believe that the first time we're going to have to shut down this show because of the numbers. Don't let that scare you. We want you to come, but don't put it off. So right now everything's open and full, but our numbers are higher now than they've ever been at this time. So come on. The flights to John Wayne Airport are really inexpensive. Everybody's having fare wars, which is a great deal. So it's a great time to have a fun sewing weekend with your sewing ladies. All right? So we will be back in 2 weeks. We will show you variations of the pattern of the month for September, which is 3413. And I also want to do a fall fashions because we really still haven't had time to do that. There's a lot of beautiful stuff out there this year. A lot of gray. So if gray is your color and if you like it, like kind of be a hoarder. Pull it out of your stash, get it all out. Get all the gray out you like because this year is really large on gray. And then those accompanying colors, your navies, your wines, large focus on gray this year, which it's kind of been gone for a couple years, so it's nice to see it back. All right, ladies, thanks so much for being here. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye. Good night.